This is Jason Hadley, and you're listening / watching the Tortoise and the Hare. And check it out on entertheshell.com.
As always, we always like to start off the show with an experience. And who's going to go first, Max, you or me?
You know what? I've had a lot of experience this week, this month, actually, but in particular this week. So I'm going to go first because I'm going to ramble for a bit. I'm doing a new film called The Witches Chronicles 2. And the first one was so popular that we're doing number 2. This is a very different experience for me because I'm working for the first time in a feature film with my daughter. And my daughter's character is Lust.
Nice.
She plays the demon of lust.
Well, that's not really a demon.
Well, no, it is.
Lust,
it's
lust
a 7
is powerful. Lust
demons.
is hot.
It is hot.
Sexy.
It is
And your
very, very hot.
Daughter, as I mentioned, is
alluring, if you will.
Yes, she's extremely alluring.
Yes, she is. She's adorable. And stay away from her. So in this experience, we are up. Where are we? I don't in Gorman, California.
Yeah, the sand
That's
dunes.
it's pretty darn far away.
Yeah.
Number one, and we're on this beautiful ranch. This gentleman named Alan Edwards, who is a godsend to filmmaking and to just the human race. This whole family has opened their homes to us, and because they have 2 homes up there, and 73 acres, and allowed us to shoot a horror film that's rather bloody and disgusting and graphic.
Yeah,
as horror films should be.
As they should be. I mean, it's not terribly graphic because it is still a, get this, a Catholic production. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
yes. Right.
Well, as long as you repent afterwards, it's fine.
I know.
Right.
It's pretty incredible. Yeah.
So the blood of Christ is actual blood.
It is.
Okay.
It is.
Okay. Just checking.
It's not a stunt double.
All right.
So I play Lilith Ratty. She's the goddess, the queen, if you will, of the underworld. I know.
Okay.
Right. I have all these powers and all these demons. And not to give too much away,
Sure.
My daughter is a demon. And watching her do these dances and be not a child anymore
In
is
character, if you will. Right?
well, no matter what, I'm always going to see her
Yeah.
as my kid.
Yeah.
And not as, Lust. Or
sure.
she's also playing Candy Zombie as well. And she's been doing dual characters in this, which is a huge ordeal for an actress to do. And, she's like, I don't want to be an actress. Because she's a singer and a model.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I don't want to do this.
Well,
You're
did you tell
doing
her?
it anyway.
Did you tell her like these days everybody is / something?
Absolutely.
Like,
I
I'm a
said it's
model
going to help her
/
career.
actor / singers.
And in the
Yeah.
horror industry,
Yeah.
being a / anything.
Yeah.
it works for
Exactly.
an agent.
Right. Right. It's true. So, so she's this, up and coming horror princess now. So I'm excited for that. But it's been crazy. Like we can make an entire film about the making of this movie because it's insane. Really insane.
Remember when they used to do that? See, this is why I don't like streaming videos anymore. Because when you would get the DVD, they would have those little bonus features
Right.
like that. And I hope that streaming evolves to having those extra things. It's like, okay, now you saw the movie. If you want to stick around, you can watch a documentary on the making of something, or even just like bloopers, or
Right.
those little extras.
Or at least figure out a way to package it together if you can't run it linearly in one streaming broadcast. you know?
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
I always enjoyed the commentary too.
But I do know how you feel about when you're watching your daughter cavort about in front of a camera, because my mom plays a lesbian as part of a couple
Oh, spectacular.
in a series of comedy web shorts called Agnes and Estelle. And
Nice.
which is getting a lot of play. I mean, they've gotten picked up and mentioned by GLAAD and a few other people, and they're trucking along producing these shorts. But it's weird to see my mom, I guess at least she's the femme of the
Right,
two.
right.
You know, it's just kind of more
That's
of the
But
housewife
it
type.
should be easier for you
Mm.
as the kid because, like, Danny's grown up her
Yeah.
whole life with me being an actor and,
Mhm.
all the assorted things that I do on the side,
Sure.
my //. And, so she should be used to it and you should be used to it.
Yeah.
But for us as parents, no,
Yeah.
I have a hard time with it.
Just let
so.
go. Just let go.
Okay, I'm trying. And if you are crazy enough to, want to look up my daughter on Instagram.
No, she has too many followers.
Hey,
Look, man.
Turtle, you can't keep her to yourself. I'm sorry.
Must
You
have her
can't
to
do
myself,
it.
too.
No, that's never happening.
One day.
Never.
One day. It'll be nice.
Did I say never?
I'll be like, me and Danny are getting married. We're in love. It's going to be great. But don't worry. I'm like, but don't worry.
You should
I'll
have
take care of it.
financial statements ready to show. I mean, at least be able to prove.
We're going to live on love, okay?
I have
your
a
currency,
45 and a shovel.
Great. I'll need those.
We're living in a van of love
Exactly.
Have you met my kid? Have you met my very spoiled child?
down by the river of
This
love.
is a prep school kid. No.
So that was your experience.
That's my experience this week.
Okay, my experience it's in the genre of horror. As people know, not that I'm an avid hiker, but I do hike a lot whenever I can.
To the refrigerator.
Yeah, right. The other day, or like a couple weeks ago, I decided to go on a hiking trail. I had a weird day off because my days off are random. I only have one consistent day off, and that's on a Tuesday. And it's only for the show. But other than that, my days off are a floating day off. So sometimes I'll have a Wednesday off. Sometimes I'll have a Sunday off. Sometimes I'll have a Monday. It's just I made sure that there was only one for sure day off in my life that you needed. So this was just a weird day off that I had. And what sucks is when you have a day off that's like on a weekday, a lot of people can't go out because everybody has a traditional, Saturday, Sunday day
It's a
off.
school night.
School night. So I woke up and I've been wanting to go hiking because I hadn't hiked in about maybe 3-4 weeks. And so I was like, okay, it's time. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go hiking. And I decided to go hiking out in the Azusa Mountains. And then before you know it, I'm driving. And then where do I wind up? Crystal Lake.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, man. I've always wanted to see Crystal Lake.
Camp Crystal Lake.
Yeah, I always wanted to check it out. And there's a bunch of trails around here. Perfect. So I get there and I park and I ask the local cafe guy about the trails. And of course, this cafe guy, he's been there for years, but guess what? He's never been on any of the trails.
Yeah.
Which sucks. And I think that's important that if you work somewhere with a bunch of trails, you should at least go on them because people like me that have questions, especially that are new, to that area, we're going to need to know information.
Did you go alone?
I went alone.
How many bodies did you bury?
No, I almost buried my own body. I got lost. This was literally, I got lost on a trail. I was about 8 or 9 miles up the hill. I was on Lost Ridge. That's the name of the trail that I was on.
Wow. Named appropriately so.
Extremely appropriately.
Yeah.
And I had a limited amount of water with me. I had one nature bar with me. And before you know it, I was like, fuck, what do I do? And so I was like, there's only one way to do this is to go down the mountain. So I had one theory in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And this was just look for the rocks. Because rocks never go up. They always go down.
Okay.
And anytime you're driving somewhere, there's always, especially when you're going up in the mountains,
Yeah.
In my head, there's always that picture of, and many people have seen, maybe somebody hasn't, of a car driving and then a rock falling. Like,
watch
beware.
for falling rocks, right?
And so my idea was like, if I follow the rocks, I'm bound to hit something because there's signs saying that these rocks are everywhere.
Okay.
So that
Sound logic.
It was until I actually had to physically go down the rocks.
Oh.
It was a river of rocks, and I got completely scarred and scraped.
Let me see.
My entire body. My things are healing right now. and
Oh my
you can
God,
barely
you're
tell.
such a girl.
No, No, they're healing right now. My back got all messed up, and every time I kept on going down, I kept on thinking I'm almost there. I would run into a dead end where I'd end up at a cliff, and then there was just more rocks, but it wasn't a cliff that I could actually go down. So I would have to find another way back down.
So that means you had to expend all that energy to go back up to the point where you had another choice?
I couldn't. I had to just figure out another path to go down the mountain. And it was crazy. At one point, it was towards the end, I had a walking stick, and the sand was so just it wasn't quicksand, but it was so just limber that I would be walking and the sand would just slip right out from under me. My stick would break, and then I would just fly down.
Wow.
That's insane.
And all I kept on thinking, or not even thinking, I just kept on saying no, 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 and it was crazy. It was weird because it almost felt like Jason was after me.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Because there was all these points where I thought I was safe, and then something wrong would happen, and then I'd get all scarred up and cut. I kind of liked that idea though, because I was thinking in my head like, dude, this should have been like the next Jason movie where the kids come back to the campfire and then they go for a hike and they get lost.
You should have told me that you were going to do that, and I would have
Well,
Ari Lehman show up and scare the hell out of you.
That'd
Well,
be cool.
It's all a matter of perspective, though. I mean, because if you think about it, you can watch Friday the 13th backwards, and technically it's a story of Jason bringing people to life with his magic machete.
Oh, okay.
There you go. That's right.
That's true.
It's all a matter of, were you lost or were you yet to be found,
So I'm finally walking, and I finally see a road, and dude, I've never felt so happy in my entire life.
Yay.
I run to the road, and meanwhile, I'm covered because all I've been doing is just falling in sand, falling all over rocks. I'm completely covered in everything.
Down to a loincloth, just grunting. Right.
Dude, my clothes were shredded because of every time I would fall, I would catch a rock or something.
Wow.
I literally looked all fucked up. And so I finally get to a road, and the moment I get to a road, within 20 seconds later, a couple comes, and I'm waving them down. I'm like, "Hey, stop!"
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh my God, what's going on?" I'm like, "Dude, I've been lost up that hill. I didn't even keep track of the time or anything like that.
Yeah.
I've been lost. I need you to give me a ride back to camp." And they're like, it was real weird. And
Did you have your hook for a hand that day?
I was like, "I swear to you, I'm not a killer." I actually said that. I swear to you, I'm not a killer. I've been
They all
lost.
say that.
I know. It was just so funny. And so they finally let me in. And I'm in the car, and whatever water I had left and any reserves I had left, I was just chugging.
Wow.
And I was like, "What time is it?" And they're like, "It's 5:30." And so I'd been lost for 7 hours going down a hill.
It would have been way cooler, though, I will say, if it was the plot twist was that they were the murderers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Don't get in our car. You might be an ex-murderer.
Yes. That's,
Wink.
Well, in the movie, that's what'll happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, this guy's already dead. Like,
wow. So I take it you were never a Boy Scout growing up.
No. I was a Marine though, so.
Oh.
So
well,
I'm embarrassed.
Here's the thing.
Turtle on the Trail. That's the new name of the movie.
Well, this is what I figured out. I figured out a few things while I was on this trail.
Mm-hmm.
One is, and maybe somebody out there knows this or not, but I think we need to figure out a better system for hikers, as far as. There needs to be some, because my phone didn't work up there. I couldn't call anybody. It was just me out there alone. And I know that's very advantageous.
Nature.
To nature should have Wi-Fi, right?
Yes.
Right?
Go
Come on,
figure.
nature. Let's get some Wi-Fi. But there needs to be some sort of GPS or monitoring system for an event where if you do get lost or whatever, you can just press it, and then, I don't know, like a helicopter just comes in.
They just leave them in a basket at the trailhead.
Well, yeah, but there's no cell service, so this has to be more.
No, Life Alert. That truly is a satellite company that tracks your.
Well, they need to get into the hiking game.
We could put a tracking device in you. I'll be happy to
Like chip
insert
you
it.
right underneath the neck, right there.
Yeah,
You
but
know?
there needs to be like some sort of like oh shit, alarm, like oh shit,
Yeah, like you just tug on your earlobe and it
Yeah. There you
activates
go.
it starts
the
pinging.
oh shit
I
meter.
think
help
everybody
me.
should have that Logan's Run thing. You
Right?
remember that?
No,
remember that
dude,
movie?
we're getting way too much into everybody knowing where we're at already.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying I'm this crazy.
Except when you need it, though.
Yeah, except when you need it.
Right.
No, but that's why like at
Greedy.
at hiking trails they should have these whatever they are.
Yeah.
These oh shit buttons.
Yeah,
know
you
what I
just
mean?
grab one out of a basket at the beginning of the
Yeah.
trail, and then you drop it back off when you're done.
Exactly. And if anything
That's a
bad
good
should go
idea.
happen, you press it and then somebody will either call you or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that was one thing that I kept on thinking about was, I'm like, dude, I could have easily fallen into a rattlesnake pit and gotten bit. Like there's so many variables that could have gone wrong.
So then you have to like also amend the idea there. It should just be like pinging constantly so everybody knows where you are on the trail. Because think about it, you get bit by a rattlesnake, all of a sudden your throat swells up, and now you're like, this is the hiking patrol. How can we help you? You're like,
Yeah. Well, that's why it's called the oh shit button.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, if you're hitting that, then clearly things are not going your way.
Exactly. It comes in like there's two buttons, oh shit and call me. You know
Right,
what I mean?
right.
Like if it's not that much of an emergency, just call me. And if it's a oh shit emergency, it's like, we bring everything. So that was a very, again, interesting experience because I really had to rely on a very strange form of analytical thinking. Because a lot of times I was like, I would get to a dead end where it was a cliff, and then it was like, okay, do I stay here and wait, or do I just keep on trucking? I got to keep on trucking.
It's funny you should say that because like Cody Lundin, I can't remember. He's like the survival expert that had that show on Discovery Channel. And that's the one thing he always talks about is no matter what, you have to have a party on attitude.
Yeah.
That's what's going to make it through. Like I was a Boy Scout when I was a kid. So one thing they told you is if you ever get lost, hug a tree. And you don't hug a tree to like make love to nature. You do it to get all, because you're a big stress ball at this point because you're like, oh shit, what am I doing? And you just get all that adrenaline out, and then you can kind of get back to the place where you can, like you said, get analytical, start looking for signs of pointing you in the right direction. Oh, look, all the moss is on the north side of the tree. I'll go this way, or whatever. So, way to make it through.
Thank you. I'm alive. I'm alive.
Yeah.
Now get this. This is what's even. This is on the sequel. This is a trilogy because when I finally get to the camp, I'm so disoriented, so dehydrated. It took me an hour to find my car.
Oh, wow.
But it wasn't as bad because as long as there was people. Right.
So what
Did you
happened to the
cry?
rest of the Uruguayan soccer team you were up there with? You had to eat them all. Right?
Delicious.
Ironically,
Delicious, very spicy.
can you imagine if there was like a 7-Eleven like a quarter of a mile in the opposite direction you started walking?
That'd have been great.
Well, that happened to the soccer team. Like they went all the way down this mountain, and had they gone like 2 miles the other way, they'd have run into a cabin full of supplies.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So that was the second part of the trilogy was that, right?
Yeah.
The third part.
Bring it on home.
The third,
boy.
I'm driving home, right? All scarred up, dehydrated. I get a call from my job, and they're like, "We need you to come in and clean up the restaurant and do all this shit," because I work at a cafe, and like I'm the closing guy, so I have to I have to wash all the dishes, I have to wash everything, sanitize everything.
Yeah.
And so I'm on the phone as I'm driving down. I was like, guys, I was lost for 7.5 hours. I'm like, I'm really scarred up. I'm like, and I'm dehydrated. I can't make it in. And they're like, and they didn't understand. They're just like, oh yeah, whatever, sure, whatever. Because I was talking to the owner, and the owner is Armenian.
Yeah.
And it just wasn't translating. He's like, no, we need you to come in. And that's
My friend, come
horrible Armenian impression. But
yeah.
And so I was like, are you kidding me? And they're like, no, you need to come in. So what do? I go home, I shower, and then I go in, and then I wash every single dish. I wash like everything. Meanwhile, I'm doing all this. I'm bleeding. And so the general manager comes.
Oh, that's very sanitary.
Yeah.
The general manager comes he's like, why are you bleeding? And I go, I've been trying to tell you, I've been lost for like 8 hours. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, but it's just a hike. And I'm like, you don't understand how dangerous hiking is. You know what I mean?
Soon it's going to be 9 hours.
Right.
No,
Well, you know what? It factors for inflation.
Yeah.
Right.
It was,
right.
Well, I was rounding up because I got lost around 10:30 and then 5:30. So that's 7 hours.
Yeah.
I think.
That's it's a
7,
long
7,
time.
8
Listen,
It's a
you know,
long
any
time.
amount of time where you're so disoriented that you don't know where home is like
Yeah.
pretty scary.
Yeah.
And, you know, and that fear probably grows exponentially the further you are away from home. I mean, thank God you were only lost in the mountains of Azusa.
Right.
Can
Yes.
you imagine if you were like
That's
in the
true.
Andes or like in some craziness like that?
Oh
It's
yeah,
like-
where there's like nothing.
yeah, and like
There's-
real danger. And like,
It's
you know what
too
I'm saying?
bad that there weren't any like random Boy Scouts hanging
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
You know, because obviously you are not tougher than a Boy Scout. But Jason Hadley, our guest today, he is tougher than a Boy Scout.
And we're gonna find out how tough he is.
Oh, boy.
When we come right back from our break.
That's right.
We are going to be talking more with Jason Hadley, and we're going to find out your experience coming up. For more information on our guest, facebook.com/comedian Jason Hadley. And did you say you had a website or a Twitter?
Just the Twitter, comedian J Hadley. You can also follow my Hollywood Rock and Wrap Up Minute at Rock and Wrap Up. And find me on the Facebook at under comedian Jason Hadley, Rock and Wrap Up, or the Hadley Hour.
Okay, and we are listening to music by the lovely, the delicious,
Watch it.
What? Sensual, very fond of this chick. I shouldn't call her a chick.
No, you shouldn't.
Victoria
DeMar. If you can't say her name properly, you have no right to call her delicious.
Well, I just want to call her Victoria and then give her my last name. It's like, look, let's just change
it's
her
not
last
going to
name now.
happen, Turtle. It's not
You
gonna
never know,
happen.
dude.
No,
I'm
giving
very
her my last name.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd watch that. Let's hear the song again. And again, yes. And
Let's
then
play it 3 times.
Okay, no, that's ridiculous.
Well, your stories are like that long.
Well, yeah, I know. I took up the entire segment.
Yes, you did.
Well,
it's annoying.
It was 20 hours lost.
All right.
In
The
the
story was
wilderness.
told in real time.
We have Jason Hadley in, comedian, and from what I hear, a great philosopher.
Smoldering man of history.
yes, he is.
Of course, we got wrapped up in my experience.
Like always.
Like always. Sorry about that, but
Yawn.
that was just a long experience.
Yeah.
What experience have you been going through?
My experience. My goodness. Here's an experience. You ready? All right. I've actually entered the world of medical marijuana cultivation.
Oh, really?
You're kidding me.
I kid you not.
Dude, this is the perfect time because I
Yeah.
just decided to start smoking pot again. So
well,
you're
there
my
you go.
new friend.
All right.
Isn't that just shocking?
Well, I mean, I didn't bring anything specific, but
What timing? What perfect timing?
no, but I mean, the fact of the matter is it's definitely an experience because, like, I mean, I started out as an ad sales guy, and of course, I found comedy and acting and writing and all that, and I do all that, of course, and that's all going very strong. But sometimes just to kind of pay the rent, it's like, you find an opportunity where someone teaches you a craft, and it's something that's, not necessarily completely hands-on, but not necessarily completely hands-off. I mean, the plants do what they want to do, and you just manage it.
Yeah.
know?
Seriously, what is the craft in that? Don't you
Well,
just
It's getting
grow
high.
it? And
No. Well, okay. I
shred
mean,
it?
think of it.
I don't smoke pot, so
Sure.
I have no idea.
Okay.
There are people in this room.
Who would not pass a pee test?
I mean, they would.
Yeah,
But you're like, oh man, you smoke too? Yeah.
Yeah. But we are not encouraging you to go out and do drugs.
No.
We are encouraging you to
Just make them.
Just
just make the drugs and sell them. Exactly.
No, but there actually is a lot that kind of goes into it in the sense that in order to, first of all, the plants these days are more like labradoodles. They've been so heavily crossbred, and the genetics that goes into it, it's like they're really raised for one specific purpose rather than making rope out of them.
Right.
So that being said, they're delicate and they require a lot of nurturing. And I happen to do indoor gardening. So what that comes down to,
Hydroponics.
Yeah, hydroponics,
I
exactly.
could just see you, like, are you wearing the hat, the little bonnet?
I do. I have pink gloves.
Yes.
I have my shears. And I sit on a rolling box with all my
that's so
garden
cool.
accessories under. No, it's actually much more automated than that.
Boo.
Oh no, man! I'm taking it full blown Star Trek. I mean,
Wow.
no, without a doubt.
Are
I
you
mean,
at least playing like orchestra music for?
actually, I'm getting a system put in
That's
that
cool.
that will have music playing.
can you?
Yeah, I heard that really helps.
Can you play this show for your plants with you on it?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
absolutely.
they'll
hear
Just
your
on a continuous
voice, they'll be
loop.
like,
Yeah.
"Woohoo!"
You know, hey ladies. See, now I'm talking to them.
Oh,
you
they're
know?
ladies.
Oh, they're all
Yeah.
ladies. You
Yeah.
only grow the ladies.
You get a guy
Really?
in there, and it'll ruin your entire.
Well,
ruin the entire room.
that's what happens.
It'll pollinate everybody.
Victoria
Exactly.
knows.
Yeah. And so
Yeah.
so I have I'll tell you what though, truth be told, you know, having an appreciation for the ladies in my space, in my garden, kind of gives me an appreciation for the ladies in other areas of my life, because they all require nurturing, and they require attention to detail, and they require, you know, having a good memory of what happened at certain points, and you know, those types of things. So all things considered, you know, I mean, taking that philosophy into my life becomes that bears its own fruit, if you will.
Interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I put a lot of care and a lot of love into these
You,
girls.
you know, when I was growing up, there were, and correct me if I'm wrong, but there were
You're
like
wrong.
three. Fuck off.
Correction,
There was
you're
like
wrong.
three kinds of pot. There
Okay.
was Maui Wowie,
Mhm.
Gainesville Green, and then
Acapulco Gold.
yes,
Right.
right,
Right.
and that's it.
Fucking love the
Well-
And now there's like, you know, you
Yeah,
did-
because of all the crossbreeding and all of the
Yeah,
and getting
it's
what are called the
insane.
phenotypes, if you will, like the
Right.
plants that have like the best traits, and being able to pollinate those to get more of those. And so everything's been there's no pedigree to it. You know what I mean? It's not like when you buy a beagle that's a purebred, you get papers with it or something like that. With
You
in
should
that
get
industry,
papers with these.
you can if you take it to a genetics lab, but
Okay.
that's kind of cost prohibitive. You
I
have
was
to have
talking
you have to have something that's so crazy, that's so amazing that everybody's going to want, that you're going to have to be able to prove it. So basically, you can take them to labs and have them tested for their THC content and their CBD content, which are the chemicals like
Right.
within there. And so, you know, but I mean, in the meantime, yeah, I try to set up a fully automated system where that includes like I partner with a company called Smart Bee Controllers, and they make a wireless network-based grow room system. So, you know, like I'm getting my system set up as we speak, and it allows me to monitor temperature and humidity and lights coming on and off, and irrigation pumps turning on and on. Just this whole orchestra of all these systems in place that really, it's almost like one step above just kind of flip a switch and walk away. And everything kind of does what it does. You know, you make an investment. Obviously, any responsible gardener is going to want to be in there, you know, every day, making sure there's no leaks. You know, you're always putting out fires, and not literal fires, but, you know,
I would
like,
hope
like
not.
no. Well, like for instance, I walked in and there were 70 gallons of water all over the floor, and
We're in a drought, man.
I know that's what I'm saying, and it's reverse
Ooh.
osmosis
Yeah.
water too. So, you know, I mean, I'm especially guilty. So,
Right.
you know, but saved it all.
There's
So-
a huge fine for that now. Did you hear about that?
Yeah.
There was like a star.
Mhm.
Who we probably shouldn't mention his name, but I'm sure Jason will, because he just
Name.
calls everybody out.
Name names. We want you to name.
He was
names.
stealing water.
Oh,
He was
yeah?
stealing water from the lake or something, and
Okay.
bringing it to his house in Beverly Hills. And
Like just with a water truck.
yes, and
Wow.
yeah, he got like a $50,000 fine.
Wow. Well, I mean, I'll tell you that, like in Calabasas,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you have all these hoity-toity residents that live up there, and they're all ratting each other out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? For the longest time, they never wanted to talk to each other. But now when they see each other watering on off days, they're like, "Oh, that person's water." You know, now they're all, because apparently there's reward money involved in certain areas
Really?
of town. and-
Uh-oh. Better.
Oh yeah.
Better
Yeah,
listen to
without a
that, Dave
doubt.
Rita.
But as far as an experience is concerned, I mean, it's something that's new to me, and that I've learned, you know, over the years, and have now actually been able to kind of, much like a chef that opens their own restaurant, you know, like that I've been able to take this experience and see it apply in a bigger picture, you know.
When can I go visit you and
Just
look
run
at
through the
this?
field?
Yeah, just run through in my Speedo.
Yeah, right.
But he
just
may get
whatever
lost
sticks
in
to you,
there
you
and
can
never
keep.
come
Yeah.
out. So
Well, that's a good.
Gotta
That's
watch
a
it.
good loss. That's a good hiking loss. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, right. Just finding that legendary Happy Valley somewhere, you know.
That'd be very
Goofy.
cool.
You're a goofy man, Turtle.
Thank you. I think I'm more unique than anything, but goofy, I guess, is a
I don't
good
know if
name.
unique is a good word for you.
One of a kind.
Irritating.
No.
Eccentric.
Eccentric. Very
Very
good word.
eccentric.
Well, eccentric implies money.
Unique.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just idiosyncratic.
Right. Because you're poor. You're like,
Yeah, right.
So what else is going on with you other than just, growing copious amounts of pot?
Yeah, right. No, actually, things are going really well. I mean, my comedy career is doing really well.
And brilliant, I have to say.
Oh, thanks.
I've listened to some of your stuff online, and it just cracks me up. You
right on.
are very quick.
You have a
thank you.
podcast, right?
I do. Actually, I have a couple. I have a 1-hour format show called the Hadley Hour that just brings in, a variety of interesting guests like writers and actors and comedians.
Would
and
I be an
directors.
interesting guest?
No.
No.
No,
you
but
know.
Max has already been on the show.
I think that DJ Turtle would need to come out of his shell. Waka, waka, waka. Anyway, no, but in all seriousness, I think that, come on out, we'll book it. We'll make it happen,
Yeah, you had Dave Rita on the show last night,
yeah.
which I think that you can listen
Now.
today and check that out.
It'll be on indie100.com at 9 p.m. Pacific, and then it'll replay Thursday at 9 p.m. Pacific, and then
But it's on demand, right?
Well, it's on demand on www.planetplatypus.com. They house my show as well as WLOR.net. I'm also airing on lipsap.com, themix.fm, Excite Radio. So, I've taken this one show, and I figure, you make the show once, and then anytime, it doesn't play, it's just wasted. So why not just send it out to everybody? Hey, you want an hour of content? Hey, you want an hour of content? I mean, I already made it.
Yeah,
so I might as well just send it out.
awesome.
And I did the same thing with the Hollywood Rock and Wrap Up. That's like my 1-minute comedy spin on celebrity gossip news. And I do that 5 days a week, and it airs on about 60 or so affiliates at this point. And trying to parlay that into a live comedy tour, start getting into small market radio, like all that flyover territory. They love making fun of the coasts,
Yeah.
Right.
So just, bring them in. I mean, and it's funny because when I do stand up, and I was in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and I was like,
They're not very funny in Green Bay.
no, but I was like Brad Pitt because they're like, you're from LA? Do you see movie stars? I'm like, bitch,
Yeah.
I am a movie star.
Bow to me.
Right. I mean, Bro, What Happened is doing really well.
Right.
Bro, What Happened was sort of the movie I did a year or so back that's sort of a cross between like The Hangover and Dude, Where's My Car? And, it's sort of the biggest college party of the year, and everybody wakes up with like all sorts of craziness going on, and they have to piece together what happened the night before.
Right.
And some notables are in that. Jamie Kennedy's in there. Lorenzo Lamas has a part in it.
My buddy Lorenzo.
Dennis Haskins from Saved by the Bell. I got to do some scenes with him, and it was a lot of fun. And we're actually in the process of making the sequel. It's currently being written right now, and
Do you need a cool radio DJ
no.
in there?
He doesn't need that.
wait, I'll tell him what I told him in Green Bay. Bitch, I am a radio DJ.
That's right.
But a turtle. Do you need a turtle?
Right, yeah, there's a distinct lack of amphibians in this movie.
He needs some scream queens is what he needs.
No, but I mean, Bro, What Happened to? They want to kind of take it away from like the college campus and kind of apply.
Well, they grow up, of course.
Well, sure, yeah, it's like
Can't
Saved
stay
by the Bell,
college.
the college years, right?
Well, I don't know if like, dude, where's my car? They weren't very college.
No,
right?
no. They were
all
just kind of
idiots.
shiftless layabouts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And The Hangover, they kind of like were
Well,
all
when-
in their own careers and then kind of
Right.
regressed to that state. So
I know anybody who makes your leader Hal Sparks,
yeah.
you have to question.
But I love Hal Sparks.
Intelligence there.
Hilarious individual,
He
awesome
is
musician.
funny. He's funny.
I got a chance to check his band out on a show that I
Yeah,
did one
01.
Yeah.
I actually sang on their record.
time. You did?
Yes, I did.
Oh, wow.
I know.
Good times.
Shocking. It's shocking.
Well, it's a small world.
It is. Well, entertainment is very small.
It is, and everybody knows everybody. It's like like in comedy,
an
for
infection.
example, everybody's like in stand-up. Everybody's so backbiting, because everybody comes from this place of pain because that's where their comedy comes from. But consequently, they act like that off stage too,
Right.
and but you never know who's going to be who.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah.
just be a good sportsman and
Yeah.
play the game the way it should be played, and try not to make waves. You'd be
Brian
surprised.
Crow, the great stand-up comedian Brian Crow, was
I know
the
Brian
guitar player
Mhm.
for Hal Sparks Band 01.
Oh, really?
He's no longer with them, but he's full-time comedy.
No, I know Brian, and I actually remember last time I saw him, he was doing a contest with me.
Oh,
Actually.
nice.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, did
I
you
don't
beat
remember
him?
how it came out. I can't seem to remember. I see. Oh, you know what?
Can't seem to remember that fact.
No. Well, I remember I wasn't competing in the contest. I was doing stand up as the judges were tallying scores. He was in
nice.
the actual contest himself. I was just sort of the intermission talent.
You're
if
the
you will.
fluffer for the crowd.
Yes, exactly, exactly.
Crowd fluffer.
Yeah, and in fact, it was being hosted or being videotaped. So yes, I mean, in fact, I was audience warm up on the front end, and then intermission, and that was fun, you know, because just interacting with people, it's not necessarily about scripted jokes. You really have to be in the moment.
Right.
You got to be in the moment there. So, and I enjoy that.
I really enjoy the fact that we still use videotape.
Yeah.
There is no videotapes yet. We still
I know. Yeah, it's
call
all
it-
digital now.
Yeah.
I know.
Like, oh, yeah, it's videotape.
Well, you know, like, but stuff always gets recycled. Formats always come back. Like, do you remember, like, you know, not to date yourself, but I certainly remember, you know, AOL dial-up, beep, boop, boop, bing, bing,
Yes.
right?
I still have all my CDs awaiting for it to
Right.
make its
Well,
resurgence.
Now that became dubstep.
That's so true.
So there you go.
That is so true.
You know, now it's all beeps and boops and basically sounds like R2D2 swearing at C3PO, you know. And but I don't know. I say videotape. I still say videotape.
Yeah, everyone else does too. It's cool. I'm like, it's totally cool.
It's not like I'm like, hey, we capturing that on Super 8. I mean, you know, I'm not that old, you know. Here, take over cranking this film wheel for me.
So you do this, you know, Hollywood wrap up bit. Is that, you know, like it's so weird because you're talking about celebrities, about, you know, all these people, and it's like you're trying to find the joke, the humor in their misery.
Yeah.
Are you? I don't know. Like, you seem happy about that. I don't
Yeah,
know.
well, you know, I'll tell you why. Because I love that question or that kind of topic about, like, you know, kind of playing on their pain. Because, well, for one, you're in the celebrity fishbowl. And God willing, I'm at a point where somebody's writing jokes about me. Nay, I say I'll write the jokes about myself and
Ooh,
just
nice.
give them to them and go, here, read this. This one's especially cutting.
Well, you write some for us, and we'll talk.
Yeah,
about it.
exactly. You know, but here's the thing, though, is it's like I remember I was backstage one time with Rick Overton, great comedian.
Oh, I love him.
Yeah, and
He's out of his mind.
I had an opportunity to open for him, and I did a joke, and it was a celebrity-based joke, and it came off. It was funny, but then Rick, you know, as the host was between both of us going on, he says to me, he's like, you know, if I can offer you a suggestion, I say, do tell. He's like, always ask yourself, who's the bad guy in the joke? So, consequently, there are certain people in Hollywood and in the celebrity, you know, influence, the sphere of influence, that are villains. You know what I'm saying? And they've painted themselves as such, or the media has. But ultimately, at the end of the day, who is the bad guy? And that's who I cater to. I'm not going to do a joke about kids with cancer. I mean, you know, you can't help that. That's just mean. I'm not a monster. I'm an a-hole, but I'm not a monster. You know what I mean? Big difference. And so, you know, there are certain people that just make it real easy for me too. I mean, thank you, Bill Cosby. I've gotten weeks out of him. You know, I've gotten years out of Lindsay Lohan, out of Kim Kardashian, Kanye West. But the thing is, they do it to themselves. If you know that you constantly have a lens on you, don't you think you might want to, like, kind of censor what you say or kind of
There
take
is no such thing as bad publicity.
Right, exactly. So that being said, maybe, you know, while I might be throwing shade on celebrities, maybe I'm helping them at the same time because I
Well,
still
you are.
put their hashtag in my tweets.
Well, that's very nice of you.
So
Very
nobody's
nice.
ever come back to me and gone, hey, that's not funny. I want them to.
Earlier today, we were in the green room and we mentioned a celebrity. It was Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
And we had nothing bad to say about this guy. All we kept saying is like, dude, this guy can, like, do no wrong. Like,
Yeah.
It's true.
he's done everything right. Like,
It's like
Yeah.
the golden child.
Well, they said the same thing about Jared from Subway, too. And, you know, look, everybody's got
Well,
demons.
that was always a
but
little
that-
shady.
But from what I understand, that
When he
wasn't
eats subs
Jared.
every
That
day.
was his business partner.
Oh,
Right?
no, apparently they caught some texts on his end.
Oh,
Yes.
man.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
beginning the process of
Yeah.
implicating him.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
at least according to, like,
Sad
TMZ,
fact.
because I got to keep up on all this stuff for the wrap up. And,
Right.
Right.
But, you know, again, like in the case of, like, a guy like that, you know, like, you have to carefully craft a joke that makes sure that you get to the meat of what you're trying to get to, as opposed to, you know, all of the collateral damage. Because I don't want to do a joke about the kids and their unfortunate circumstances, but this guy making the choices that he made, you know, I feel no problem calling him out for. You know, so that's just
well,
my
when it has
philosophy.
anything to do with children,
Yeah.
you should be.
I know. I'm definitely leery about
Hung
that
by
sort of
your
stuff.
penis.
Yeah, yeah. And so, like, that's where, and also the other side of it is there's a lot of stuff that's kind of evergreen. There's always topics like it doesn't need. Sometimes I save a lot of my joke writing. I save a lot of time doing joke writing because somebody's always getting a DUI. Somebody's always involved in, some sort of episode of like shoplifting, for instance. You get a shoplifter every few years. This one recently was the guy from the Vanderpump Rules show. But, I had a joke lined up from when Winona Ryder was got caught shoplifting. You know what I'm saying? Or like there's a bunch of celebrities that are always having overdoses. You know what I mean? So it's like sometimes you can just kind of take that same material and recycle it through. But, it just creates templates.
It's a high pressure job.
I love it, though. It gives me a chance to flex my writing muscle every day. I do it 5 days a week. I got to come up with 4 to 5 jokes. And I love doing it. I'd love to turn it into a television show or at least just kind of do like a live stand-up tour based on the radio show. So that's where I'm at.
That's
right
a great
now.
idea.
Yeah.
My friend John Melendez, who was the
Stuttering John, yeah.
Stuttering John, who
Yeah.
is the host of the Tonight Show.
Mm-hmm.
He was one
Well,
of
he
the
wasn't the
writers.
host,
Well,
he was the
announcer. He was the announcer. I'm sorry. Just
Right.
Sorry.
Jay's
yeah.
like, wait a
I'm
minute.
tired. Whatever, Jay. Get enough press. So he would complain to me because he has to write every day
Sure.
for Jay, and it was very, very difficult for him because the topics that you're allowed to talk about on national TV is quite different than what you're allowed to say on the radio.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I actually sent my stuff to John.
Oh, nice.
And just to say, hey, it's like one writing professional into another. I'd love to know what you think and, if there's any tips or tricks you have, or, hey, maybe I'd love to get a seat at the writing table one day just as a internship or something, and never heard back. Oh, well.
Oh,
He just has yet to discover my greatness.
Right.
yeah.
Well, you'll meet
We'll
him.
have to prod him.
You'll meet him through this show. So
That's
Yeah,
right.
no doubt.
That's right. We'll have a big party and
There is something about a handshake that, like, gets people to take your calls.
yeah,
You know what I
definitely
mean?
when they can recognize. Oh yeah, remember we were at.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ron Jeremy keeps doing that to me.
Oh, really?
Dude, he's a very influential man. And,
Is he still pitching his rum?
He is.
Yeah.
He brought me a bottle for 4th of July.
She didn't bring any. She knows.
No, I'm never opening that.
You're one of
No.
those.
Yeah. Well,
She's
because
always
God
gonna be
knows
on
what's
display.
in it.
Alcohol, whatever. If there's alcohol in it, it's pure.
Yeah, it's killed
purified.
anything else that's in there.
Exactly. I'm just saying. Well, Jason, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Absolutely.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
For more information, I do have his Facebook, facebook.com/comedian Jason Hadley, and your Twitter again.
Comedian Jay Hadley, the letter J, and you can always follow the Hollywood Rock and Wrap Up at Rock and Wrap Up.
Now, if you do look for his Twitter, be careful. I went looking for your Twitter, and then I found like this like staunch Democratic person that's twittering under you. That's like a big Hillary fan. And then I found a guy from Utah, and then I found some guy that lives here in Los Angeles. I thought it was you, but I guess not. Was he a painter or something like that?
Yeah, he's like he's an artist, and I think a damn good artist myself.
Yeah,
I actually want to go to his
stuff.
show.
It's actually very good.
Yeah.
And he's here too in LA, and I thought, I was like, oh, we're having this guy on. Then and I did some.
We should do a
more-
day.
And then you
of
realized it was
Jason
me, and
Yeah,
you're
I
like,
was like,
"Aw,
Damn it!
damn."
Another comedian, Max. Really?
I know a lot of comedians.
No, it's cool. So thanks again, and again, we are playing music.
By Victoria DeMar.
And she's coming up next, right?
Yes, she is.
Let's see if
In the hot seat.
yeah, let's see if she falls in love with me.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Love
Well,
at
who
first
doesn't
sight,
fall
right?
in love with you, right?
It's like that song.
Me.
Oh yeah,
Was it by Ed Sheeran?
yeah.
He's
Here?
like, people fall in love with just by the touch of your hand. So it's like, I'm gonna touch her and let's see what happens. Let's see if she.
Oh, I
falls in
smell.
love.
She's going to go run and wash her hand, I think.
As she should, because I do have to go use the restroom.
I don't know. You leave me swooning, DJ Turtle.
Thank
Aw.
you. So let's hear the song "Spires of My Heart" by her, and let's see if she spires by my heart. Right? Was that a good joke? Or?
No.
For the moment, I'm with you.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
a man of the moment. As
Yeah, exactly.
well. More Tortoise and Hare experience coming up.